Hello, everybody. Hello.
Who are you talking to?
There is a large group of people behind that camera right there. Large
What?
group. Yeah, they live in TV
I
land
don't see anybody.
and also YouTube land.
Bob's not that large.
I can't see
That's
anything.
true.
Did you want to introduce us to your friends?
Yes. These are my sock puppets.
I'll introduce myself. My name is Rocco.
And I'm Michael!
Yeah, and we're twins.
I don't look like him. He's a loser.
Yeah.
No, she's always doing that to me, but we are twins.
So, they're twins.
Yeah. My
So-
name is Rocco.
And I'm Michael!
Mako and Rocco. Okay, so for those of you who have not seen this show before, the Mental Health News Hour is a show where I read mental health news bullets that I have acquired from sundry places, and I've edited them down into a format that can be read in a short period of time. My sock puppets here will ask questions or make comments or whatnot as we go on. And I will try and explain all the things.
Too many things.
Yeah, too many. So if I get bogged down in detail, it's their fault.
What are you
I'm
talking
blaming
about?
them.
I
Yes.
wouldn't bog anybody down with anything.
He smells, and
I'm a good
that's
puppet.
like, no, that's
Yeah.
the bogging down.
No. You're the one that smells.
No, you're really stinky there.
Look, I've lived with her all my life, and she came off of a foot. That's
Gee.
what, you're gonna stink if you came off of a foot.
And I thought it was me and the broccoli I had last night. Okay.
Dan, did you get diarrhea?
Nope. No, and if I did, I probably wouldn't say.
Sometimes I get diarrhea, and I make a face like this.
Well, it's a good thing you got a hole in your bottom.
That's the fungus.
Okay. So the first news bullet that we have here is about generics versus brand name medications.
You know, generic toilet paper is awful.
Yes, it
I
is.
use toilet paper.
It does little bitty bits and stuff. So just a brief explanation. When a person when they have a psychiatric issue going on, a psychiatrist is going to want to give them pills. And medications that have been out for more than 7 years are available to generic companies to make exactly the same medication for much, much less.
Is that the same with toilet paper?
Yes.
You have to have like the toilet paper on the market for a while, and then you can make generic toilet paper.
Sure. Sure. But anyway, we're talking about income rather than outgo. So the difference will be in a medication.
Hey, why is this thing on my face?
$12 a pill or $50 a pill in brand
Because your
name
face is ugly.
versus
Your face is ugly and you stink.
50 cents a pill in generic. Okay? Are you ready?
Ready?
Okay.
About this, her smell like you give her a drug or something.
Here, we'll just plug your nose here. We got a little thing here. We'll just plug your nose there. right-
Okay,
right
that's a good idea.
There we go. We'll just plug your nose. There. How's that?
a lot better, thank you.
Here. Oh, now you sound funny.
Oh, that's
You already sound funny anyway. Oh crap! Hold on. Hold on.
I wish that his
caught up.
voice was constipated.
Oh man, you're caught up here. Oh, you're caught up.
Ah, you hurted me.
We'll just leave it.
That's right.
I can't. It's caught up. It's stuck.
There
I got this stuck up your nose and it won't come off. Oh, there we go.
we go. That's better.
Okay. Where were we? Oh, yes. According to a recent study found in the July 2015 issue of the journal Psychiatric Services by researchers at the University of Maryland School of Medicine, Medicaid is expected to save billions in cash a year as several popular name brand antipsychotic patents expire.
Antipsychotic? What did you say?
Antipsychotic patents.
That's a
The
lot.
patents for the antipsychotics. It's after about 7 years. Yeah.
What's an antipsychotic?
It's something that supposedly helps people who are hearing voices or having difficulty.
I hear voices.
Me
No,
too.
that's me.
I hear them. I'm hearing two of them
I
right
always
now.
hear Rocco's voice.
Yeah, your
Yeah, I always smell Marco all over the place.
So antipsychotics are given to people that have hallucinations or they have difficulty, some kind of difficulty with their relationship with the world around them.
Oh,
and
like my
people around them.
relationship with my twin brother. Oh!
Exactly.
I need an antipsychotic.
Yes, you do. Okay. So where was I? Antipsychotic patents expire and generic drug versions of them are offered. This is because federal and state-funded Medicaid cuts costs. State-funded Medicaid cuts costs by
You need to get some drugs.
by restricting drug treatment to cheaper generics for patients, which include, okay, this is what they do to stop the Medicaid doctors from prescribing the most expensive medications right away. They want them to try the cheaper generics first, and they
And
have been doing this
sometimes
for
you
years.
get placebos.
Yep. Only in drug trials.
Oh, okay.
No, it's rare that a doctor will prescribe a placebo because that is unethical unless you tell the person or it's a test or something like that. Because
Okay.
you're basically tricking the patient. You're saying you're giving them one thing when you're giving them something else, and that's not that's unethical. Although it's understandable in some cases, but they're not allowed to do that. They used to, but not so much anymore. Blah, 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 which include okay, so these are the things that states do to try and restrict the use of expensive medications, especially antipsychotics, which are very expensive, which include requirements that a physician or a doctor obtain your prior authorization before writing a prescription. So they have to get permission, limits on the total number of prescriptions a patient can fill per month. In the case of medications, what will happen is a person will be on 3 and 4 and 5 different medications, 2 of which will be antipsychotics, 2 of which will be side effect medications, and one
What
would
about
be a medication
constipation?
for possibly rickets. Who
When
knows?
I get constipated, I go, ugh.
Yeah, diarrhea and constipation are
Yeah.
frequent and common side effects of
From
these
the
medications.
antipsychotics.
Yeah, diarrhea and
Maybe that's what's wrong with my sister. She's always having diarrhea.
Okay, and requirements to prescribe certain
why she
antipsychotics
smells.
before trying others. The study predicted that offering generic versions of these medications would reduce costs by $1.8 billion, or nearly 50%, by 2016, and $2.8 billion, or 78%, by 2019, based on Medicaid funding data, evaluating costs and predicted changes in overall Medicaid spending for second-generation atypical antipsychotics between 2011 and 2019. Based on current pricing indexes that came to $3.6 billion, 3.3 billion of which was spent on 5 exciting newer name brand medications. Okay, so do you guys understand what I just said there?
I don't know. I kept the
were you
water
guys
away
listening?
from.
Were you paying attention?
She was trying to drink the water, and I said, "You can't drink the water. I get to drink the water."
Do you have any comments regarding what I just read?
Well,
I think that whatever Rocco's taking gives him excessive thirst.
Or possibly diarrhea of the mouth.
Yes. That's why his breath stinks.
Yeah, well, you stink. All of you stink. Not just your breath. It's because you came off of a foot. A smelly foot.
Yes.
You have foot fungus.
Okay.
Foot fungus of the mouth.
Let us move on. Okay, so let us move on.
I like salad.
I like finger foods. Well, you guys should like finger foods. Anyway, so there are 5 medications. These are all antipsychotics. They are all very, very expensive. They came out anywhere between 10 and 5 years ago. I'm familiar with all but the last one, and they're in about 20% of the time, they're very effective for the person they're given to. The rest of the time, not so much. They're a little helpful or not at all. But
Not at all.
patients are told to continue taking them, and but they do cause some serious side effects.
Hallucinations?
Sudden withdrawal
Damn.
of these medications can intensify psychotic symptoms. We're running out of time, aren't we?
Man.
Okay, we're running out of time. What?
Do you
Speed read, speed read, speed read.
What?
Do you hallucinate? Is it, because, you know, you're talking
no.
to these puppets that, you know.
I do. I hear the phone in the shower when the phone isn't ringing. That is an auditory hallucination.
Yeah, and you
most
also
people-
hear voices.
And then you jump out of the shower,
Like-
and then there's water.
Like mine.
Splish
Yeah.
splash.
Okay.
And hers.
So one medication is called Abilify, also known generically as aripiprazole.
Ooh, that's
Area
a mouthful.
One brand
Bottle?
name is called Seroquel, generically known as quetiapine. One is called Zyprexa. I hate that one the most. Also known as olanzapine. And the newer one is called Geodon or Ziprasidone. And Invega, which is one I'm not as familiar with, it's fairly new. It's called paliperidone.
You know, I
Okay.
invented a drug.
Okay, so these
Yeah, it's called
antipsychotics,
Rockadone.
they're the mainstay of treatment for psychotic
It's used for diarrhea.
illnesses such as schizophrenia and bipolar disorder. In the 1990s and 2000s, a new category of antipsychotic medications known as second-generation antipsychotics or atypical medications were introduced. And these new medications promise fewer side effects, which that's not true, but they were also more expensive, crazy expensive.
Yeah, you know, Rockadone is really, really, really expensive.
Rockadone.
It's like $20 billion a dose.
Yes, I need
But
to
it
give
helps you with your diarrhea.
I need to give you the medication Thought Be Gone.
What?
Okay, 1 minute left. Between 1999 and 2005, annual antipsychotic expenditures per Medicaid beneficiary more than doubled, said Dr. Slade, who is an economist, and he was one of the researchers. The cost-saving estimates are based on observations from earlier atypical medications, one of which is Risperdal, and the cost transition from pricey generic versions to the predicted future cost savings that is based on what they saw with that medication. The forecasting models were developed by authors Eric Slade, PhD, an associate professor of the Department of Psychiatry, and Linda Simon Wasilla,
This is boring.
BS Pharma, blah, 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 professor at the University of Maryland School of Pharmacy. Well, it's a good thing I let us go a little bit further. So Medicaid is going to save a huge amount of money when these medications go generic. Pharmaceutical companies go
Then I'm gonna be
crazy
rich.
trying to make them not go generic because they make vast amounts of money off these medications. So better to take the generic version. You will save your insurance money, you will save the government money, and
But you know what happens to the little guy when you do that?
the pills will look different, possibly smaller, so you'll save yourself from choking, possibly. I don't know.
Oh, Dan.
Okay, well, listen, we've run out of time. Let's say goodbye. I want to thank Rocco
Rocco and Marco.
and Mako.
We're twins.
And just remember, if you're not there, try to be there at some point.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we're ready. Silly me. Okay, well, we're back with the Mental Health News Hour. Thank you for being patient and waiting for hours and hours for this segment to randomly appear. My name is Dan Bennett. I am not a doctor. I only play one on television. These are my sock puppets.
Hello.
And your name is?
I'm Robot Canadian.
Robot Canadian, eh? Nice, eh?
I like maple syrup.
Do you like bacon?
Yeah, especially while I'm watching hockey.
Yeah, hockey.
He
know
could have
what
been
my-
watching hockey
you know
instead
my
of doing this.
My favorite Canadian sport is curling.
Not
Curling.
hockey.
I love curling. They're giant rock marbles on ice and people with brooms. It's just fascinating. And it's like slow motion violence. I just love the sport that it is. And you are...
Waco.
Pardon?
Waco.
Waco?
Waco.
Wankle.
Wankle.
Wankle. Your
Wank.
name is Wankle. That is the English translation of your alien name.
Wankle.
Wankle. Okay, so do you guys? Okay, so here's the setup for this coming article. The way it works is that if I get really sad and I want to commit suicide, I end up in the hospital. Usually, if somebody helps me get there, or if I take myself there, or if I'm rescued somehow. And there's two options that I have. Clearly, I don't want to commit suicide. Or at
Yeah,
least
that'd
when
be
I'm
bad.
thinking clearly, I don't want to commit suicide. So usually what happens is I'm offered medication. And the medication is designed to help me not feel sad anymore. It will give me a number of other side effects or other things going on. The other option that I have that is less likely, that is more difficult for me to get, is talk therapy. And talk therapy is about me sitting and talking about why I'm upset and why I'm depressed and why life is sucking for me at this particular point in time, and to help give me skills, things that I can think or refocus on, or goals and skills and things that I can do so that when I am feeling that way, I don't look at the bridge and want to jump off of it. That's the idea. So medications usually take about 2 weeks to start having an effect, and the talk therapy...
Why 2 weeks?
Takes long. Well, it's got to get into your system. It's got to consistently be in your system before your body starts adjusting to this new drug that is literally affecting the biochemistry of your brain. So that's what happens. If a person is very lucky, they get both medications and talk therapy. The medications, if a person only got talk therapy or only got medication, they cost about the same. But the results are different, and how they work is very, very different. And it's really a whole lot easier to give a person a pill, here, take this pill, and go away, rather than come sit down and talk for an hour, and this person has to listen and try and help you. So talk therapy is a lot more complicated, and but the difference is that when I go to talk therapy, I learn skills, and those skills stay with me for the rest of my life. I will always know those skills, whereas when I stop taking the pills, their effect wears off, and it's no longer doing anything for me, as opposed to the talk therapy. So that's the difference. I advocate talk therapy. Medications, sure, if they help, take them. That's not a problem. The eyes have it. Here. Wait, don't move. There we go. Okay, so here is an article regarding the difference between medication and it's called Meds versus Minds. Okay, the debate over the efficacy means effectiveness, of talk therapy versus drug treatment regarding people with depression show equally favorable results.
Yay.
But schizophrenia is a very different symptom set. People with schizophrenia suffer from hallucinations, delusions, various symptoms that make it difficult to function in our society. There's one effect that is called flattened affect, meaning the person doesn't show their mood. Their mood regarding things around them, they don't really get really happy or really sad or really scared or really angry or really happy or anything. They're just, everything is dulled. They might believe that they are the Sultan of Bapa Mau Mau. They may believe that there is a city under their bed, a tiny little city. They may
What tiny little city?
believe that they're receiving thoughts from other people or transmitting them from other people. There's all kinds of symptoms that people with schizophrenia get. And interacting socially is a,
Why
is
do
a
they
big
think
factor
there's a
as a
city?
result. That's just a belief that someone I knew had once. She believed there was a small city under the bed, and I couldn't sit on the bed because I would crush the city. So,
Yeah, that's bad, eh?
yeah, but that's another.
Yes.
That's another story all by itself. Blah, 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 blah. But the medications that are offered usually cause weight gain, lethargy, meaning tiredness, gastrointestinal issues such as constipation, indigestion, diarrhea, GERD, which you burp up stomach acid,
What's that?
and heart problems.
What's
That's
stomach
bad.
acid?
It's stomach acid, right? Have you ever had a verp
What's a verb?
where you kind of burp up a little bit of throw up?
Maybe once.
Okay. Well, you burp and stomach acid comes up and it burns a hole in your esophagus over time.
I'm guessing that's
So
bad.
yeah, it's very bad.
Yeah, I don't have any
Okay,
of those.
so the higher the dose that the patient takes or the person takes, the worse those symptoms become. And a lot of people with schizophrenia or schizoaffective or bipolar, they will stop taking their medication because the side effects are so intense. And the doctors will prescribe a different medication to deal with that particular side effect or this particular side effect, and those medications have side effects. So sometimes they'll get a third medication to deal with the side effect medication's side effects. And it gets worse and worse. And I've seen people on 6 and 7 medications, and they're like, they're like a centipede. One dealing with the one in front of it, which is dealing with the one in front of it, which is dealing with the one in front of it. And then they get tired of all these pills and they stop all the medications altogether. I've watched this over and over with many, many friends do this. It's sad how that works. So researchers tested how reduced medication, talk therapy, and social supports have a benefit consistent with medication-only treatment for patients with schizophrenia. Those who participated in the program intended to keep dosages of antipsychotic medication as low as possible and emphasize a one-on-one talk therapy and family support made the people that got this talk therapy and family support and other supports that they talked about in the article that I didn't write down, so I can't remember them all now. Oh well, sorry about that. They made greater strides in recovery over the first 2 years of research treatment than patients who got the usual drug-only care.
Can you put my eyes back on? My hands are not working today.
That is not where your eye should be, mister. There we go.
Yes, that would be.
There we go. Oh, crap. Okay, we're pausing for a mic malfunction. Thank you, Robert. Okay, so here's how it works. Generally, a person has these psychotic symptoms. They end up in the hospital because they're trying to throw fish heads at oncoming traffic.
Fish heads.
Yes. I thought about that once, and I pictured myself doing it. Don't throw fish heads at oncoming traffic. It's a bad idea. Someone could get hurt. The fish heads especially could get hurt. That's how bad it is. Also, you'll be interfering with the orderly function of someone driving, which is probably not good either. At least they'll get off their cell phone as they drive. Anyway, so typically what happens is the person is given pills and sent on their merry way back home, and they get follow-up care from a doctor later on. But all they're given is a pill to take, and they're told, take your pills or else, generally. There will be consequences if you stop taking your pills. Most people continue taking them because they believe it will help them, and in many circumstances it does. Okay, my thumb, that's my thumb drive. You are driving my thumb somewhere. There we go. So what happens is that is the only care that the person gives. If the person is getting care at a community mental health center, they'll be able to go and talk to a case manager that helps them with bills and general living skills and dealing with, the rent and something to do if they're not working or going to school or something like that. But generally, as far as the pills go, that's all they get. So in this program, they were given talk therapy to deal with the voices, to deal with the delusions, to deal with the socialization, to deal with just trying to function with this extra monkey on their back that they've got. And it was highly effective. Okay, so I will continue reading. The research
I've never had a monkey.
I have 2 right now on my thumbs. The research was published in the American Journal of Psychiatry and funded by the National Institute of Mental Health, also known as NIMH. and
Nimha. Nimha.
NIMH, and was the most rigorous trial of its kind to date, conducted in the U.S. and supervised by Dr. Robert Heinessen.
I know a Robert.
The Director of Services and Intervention Research at NIM. It began in 2009 and ran for 7 years. The study was based partly on programs in Australia, Scandinavia, and other parts of Europe that have improved patients' lives in those countries for decades. Okay, let me pause here for a second. They've been doing this in Europe and elsewhere for decades, but not here
more than
in the
10
U.S. In
10
Canada, they've been doing it in Canada. And so now it's this amazing research. Oh, why don't we give them therapy?
Hey, Canadian robot.
And
Did
life
you notice
skills
any of it?
help as your standard program
You did?
with your medication.
How was it?
Because maybe that might help. So, okay, where was I?
You were over there
Okay,
at
I was
decades.
right
Decades.
there. Okay, this study is the first test of this approach in this country. It randomly assigned 34 community care clinics in 21 states to provide either treatment as usual, which is treatment as usual, or the combined package of care. The team recruited 404 people with first episode psychosis, mostly diagnosed in their late 20s or teens. About half got the combined approach and half received regular treatment, and both groups were monitored by clinicians who observed both groups using standardized checklists that rate symptom severity, quality of, I got your arm, quality of life and social supports. Patients receiving the combined care got help with work or school, family member education to increase their understanding of the disorder, one-on-one talk therapy to learn tools and skills, and build social relationships and reduce their substance use and help manage their symptoms.
What symptoms?
I'll explain. The study found that the sooner people started the combined treatment after the first episode, the better they did. The average time between the first episode and receiving medical care for those who got it is currently about 1.5 years, as opposed to more frequent interventions for those who didn't. The original article was written by Benedict Carey. Benedict, not Arnold, Benedict Carey. So what happens is a person will get their first episode where they're hearing stuff, they're throwing fish heads at oncoming traffic, they're things are going on and they end up in the hospital. Generally, they're there for a short time, taking some medication, then they're sent on their merry way. But this talk therapy begins and continues. And what happens is they don't show up at the hospital for throwing fish heads at oncoming traffic as often. They may get episodes, but if they have skills to manage them, they may not end up giving into them and doing something silly when they're not thinking clearly. Okay?
You lost your puffy ball.
Oh, don't mess with my puffy ball. Okay,
What
hold
puffy
on.
ball?
There we go. Okay, I made a big noise. I'm sorry about that. So,
Sorry.
so I have
Sorry.
run out of time. I want to thank you two for your participation. And
I'm losing my eyes everywhere. Hey, he stole my eyeball.
well, he's a Canadian robot. That's what they do. That's how they
Canadians steal
roll.
eyeballs?
Yes. I've stolen 754.8 eyeballs.
You're Canadian?
Yes. I'm a dual citizen. My left half is
Yay!
Canadian. Yes.
Wait, what? You left what?
My left half is Canadian. Yeah. Okay. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
I lost my arm.
Bye-bye. And welcome to segment 3 of the Mental Health News Hour, the show that you can watch while not wearing your pants. The show that you need to keep your barnyard animals from watching. The show where you can eat and chew gum at the same time. The show where you can learn something different. Yes. Okay.
I like learning different. It's like the same as everybody else.
I would like to introduce the sock puppets. You are
I'm Oscar.
Oscar.
And I'm Charlie.
Charlie, and Oscar. Oscar, Charlie. Well, welcome to the Mental Health News Hour. I'm going to read an exciting new news bullet. And
There'd be sandwiches.
what?
I was told there'd be sandwiches.
I was told there'd be drugs.
Drugged sandwiches are out in the lobby after the segment is over. I will slip pills in your pudding.
Good, I'm stuck in the 60s. I like drugs.
As soon as I put them in there. And I will give you Thought Be Gone, and I will give you catatonia-pene. Yeah.
I don't like cats. Nope. I don't want it. I don't want it.
Stupiridone.
Oh, good. It's a big word. I like big words.
Stupiridone. Okay, so this one's entitled Gene Expression in Schizophrenia. Schizophrenia is a difficult diagnosis. Symptoms include positive symptoms like delusions, hallucinations, disorganized
There's
speech,
that phone again.
and disorganized
Keep hearing
behavior.
that phone. Where is that phone?
Yeah. Negative symptoms include flattened mood and affect, which means expression of that mood, low energy,
I can't do flattened mood.
difficulty with words,
Just like
and
that, flattened mood.
socializing deficits. Past treatments have included, but were not limited to, confinement, such as a hole in the ground or the attic, shock treatment.
Plug me in, baby,
At
plug
first
me
it
in.
was with
Not the
insulin,
attic
later they were with ice baths, and then after that it was with electricity. Blaming the mother, that was a good one. It was called the schizophrenogenic theory, where
Not
it was
my
the mother's fault for the
mom.
kid having
Blame my dad.
schizophrenia, and now mostly medication and occasionally confinement to a state hospital or a community treatment center.
Been there.
But recent analysis of consistent genetic bit code errors in certain genes have shown some insight into the initial causes
GMO
of these
bit
various
code
mental
errors,
illnesses.
okay.
Yeah, bit code errors in the genetic code.
GMOs, huh?
Yeah,
Everywhere.
well, picture a ladder, and there are different colored rungs. There's 4 different colored rungs, and a whole long section of it, when it's snipped, it gets folded, and it becomes an enzyme or a protein. Or it gets connected with other parts of this long ladder and gets folded together to become a protein of some kind. And depending on what section determines the kinds of proteins or enzymes that are made. Well, if there are errors, the protein looks a little bit different and it doesn't function properly. And every stage of our life, different parts of these genes are activated. If we're super stressed, other genes are activated, but generally there are genetic parts on different chromosomes that code for parts of our prefrontal cortex.
I
Which
know
is
that. Blue
our
jeans for casual,
that's-
black jeans for dress,
that's
and
the
white
most
jeans
human
for after May Day.
parts of, exactly. That's the most human part of our brain. Okay, so where are we? The research was conducted by
here,
a
I
research
think.
team, of course, led by Professor Kevin Fox from Cardiff University School of Biosciences and published in the journal Science Neuroscience.
he's published.
The journal
Ooh.
Science Neuroscientist. There's a gene known as disrupted in schizophrenia 1.
Oh, can I read that? Can I have that?
Or disc run. Yes, you can. You would be SOC1, actually. Past studies have shown that when mutated, the gene is a high risk factor for schizophrenia, major depression, and bipolar. Okay?
Ooh, I could be north and south at the same time. Good,
Indeed, yeah, that's
yes.
called unipolar, where you're both at the same
Okay,
time.
I'll just be north now.
Yep, or south.
Okay, now I'm south.
Okay. Researchers have identified what
I'm
they
north.
call schizophrenia's Rosetta Stone gene, this particular gene, this little section of the ladder on one of the chromosomes, that could hold the key for decoding the function of many other genes involved in the disease and the proteins that bind with them. In their study, scientists prevented DISC1 from binding with Liz and Nudie
Ooh, I like this. I haven't
molecules.
met you yet.
These are other proteins that they bind with, which they bond with, and have a bearing on the brain's ability to adapt its structure and function, also known as plasticity.
A bearing, not a penguin, huh?
Yeah, adaptation later on in adulthood, when they are fully formed. It showed no effect on its plasticity When the brain is fully formed
Is
and
it a
this gene gets
biodegradable plastic?
activated, then it doesn't do anything.
Or just a generic plastic?
Generic plastic. Actually, no, that would be a brand name plastic, actually. Until you have to wait until you get the
mind-boggling
generic
plastic?
Number two,
Yeah.
put it in the bin.
However, there is a 7-day window early on in the brain's development when the fetus is being formed. 1 week after birth, generally, for most mammals. It's very early in the development. Where
We don't want to talk about Planned Parenthood. The Congress will get mad at us.
or people, anyway, that's something else. Yeah, that's another conversation. Where failure to bind had an irreversible effect on the brain's plasticity later on in life.
Ooh, so
Okay.
I have a rubber brain or a plastic brain?
Yeah, so what to understand what I'm talking about, you have to look up things like how enzymes and proteins are made, what gene expression is, epigenetics.
Gene expression's easy. It means you have lots of shiny things or you don't have shiny things, or you have pretty thread or not pretty thread.
Well, epi means outer.
Outer?
Yeah, epidermis, outer.
Okay.
Genetics.
It's kinda
These are
wrinkled
genetics that are
epidermis there.
activated by the environment that wouldn't be activated if the environment was different. Why puppies and kittens are cute, and how much time do I have to discuss such things in depth anyway?
But kittens
Okay,
are
how are we
cute.
doing?
Puppies are
Good.
cute.
I got 5 minutes left. I have more time to talk about this. The way it works is they will do mouse studies or rat studies or hamster studies or different studies because that particular gene or that particular chromosome or that particular part of the brain or body is extremely similar to the human ones. And so what they'll do is they will test things on mice or rabbits or guinea pigs, literally guinea pigs, to see what happens.
But they were testing cold stuff on mice, and they discovered it doesn't work the same way as humans.
What?
They were trying to take care of them by treating them for colds. They found out the mice don't react the same way with the treatments that the humans do, so it doesn't work.
Mice may have a different immune system. Their body temperature is different. Their circulatory system might be slightly different. And so what they do is this part of the mouse, this part, their heart or their liver or the kidneys or their prefrontal cortex or their hearing thing might be the closest other mammal to humans that there are. And so they will use the mouse for that particular kind of experiment. Whereas
Why not rats? They're pretty smart.
well, rats may have a different digestive kind of system, and so testing rats for digestive medications would be a bad idea because they don't respond the same way because their digestive tract is built different. So that's why they use all these different kinds of things. And the more human-like mammals that they can find to test, the more likely that their response to the medication or the treatment or whatever it is will be more like a human. They use monkeys, macaques, spider monkeys, rhesus monkeys. These are monkeys where their reproductive system or their hearing or digestive or their prefrontal cortex are very similar to humans. But what they were looking at are bit code errors in human brains in this certain gene, and they found a similar gene in mice, and they created bit code errors and inserted them into the mice, and they watched how the mice behaved as opposed to how they didn't behave.
It sounds like they got
changed.
problems with their hard drive.
Yeah. Well, see, they've been looking for the cause of schizophrenia for years and years, and they blamed it
It's
on
easy.
the
We
mother.
blame it on cats.
Well, no, they blamed it on the mother. They did that in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, and that was just a terrible thing. They've been looking for a viral or a chemical insult in the third trimester. They thought for a long time that the mom was somehow responsible again for exposure to some drug or some medication or some poison or some toxin or a virus or something.
I'm gonna like to drink.
Was she a boot? And do you drink from that boot?
I'm fine now.
Okay, well, yeah.
My
you
mom
look
was
pretty good.
confused. She
You're
couldn't
rather
figure
hairy.
out whether my first name was Damn It or Who Are You?
Yeah. So they've been looking and looking and looking for causes for years and years and years without much result. But now they have found genetic bit code errors in there are 3 or 4 genes where they have found these bit code errors in these genes, and everyone that has schizophrenia or major depression or bipolar have these similar bit code errors. They're all slightly different, but they have them in these sections of their genetic, their different chromosomes and different
So we're going to take them over to Jurassic World and redo their DNA, right?
Well, the idea is that you do gene testing when the fetus is a week old, and you insert genes that are the good ones as opposed to the bad ones, and those take over as opposed to the ones that don't work right. Gene therapy.
So we're going to try and reprogram what has been created so stem cells will try and do different things, right?
Yep, yep, yeah. So that's the treatment. But just remember that schizophrenia is a little bit different in every single person that has it. Most people know what schizophrenia is
That phone keeps ringing. It drives me crazy.
by either Uncle Tom or Uncle Arnie, right? They have schizophrenia, and that's all that people know what that schizophrenia is like. But every single person that I have met that was diagnosed with schizophrenia, schizoaffective disorder, bipolar, any of those, it expresses itself totally different in each person. So whatever the bit code errors are in these particular stretches of genes are slightly different for everyone. So,
Well, it sounds like they're stuck right back again, that they can identify the mouse, and they think it's going to be the same in the human, but the humans are all different. Then they're going to have a problem identifying it, aren't they?
yeah, what they'll have to do is take a person, extract some genetic material, look at the bit code errors, create a fixed one, fix it somehow, and then re-inject these the corrected things. So, but hey, listen, I am out of time. Do you guys have anything to say before we?
We're out of our
sign up?
minds, so we're okay.
I was promised a drug sandwich.
When we're done, I will go get the Quaaludes and spread them with peanut butter and
peanut butter, thank
and jalapeno sauce.
Why are those little ants marching across the desk?
Yes, that would be
There they are. They just keep going
hallucination.
in a line,
Yes.
in a line.
Okay, well,
oh, no,
thank
he's
you.
He's green, so he's different.
Okay, everybody, say goodbye. Goodbye. Hello, everybody. Hello. Hello, my darlings. Welcome once again to the Mental Health News Hour, where I speak in a fake falsetto accent, sort of. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay. These are my next two sock puppets, and your name is?
Aye, I'm Mac. Short for McDonald. But you can't call me that, because they own it.
Oh, sorry.
Sue me.
Sorry, I like your accent.
Oh, thank you.
So when I say it, just picture a little thing right above the word where I just said it, because that way it hasn't. Actually, everything you say should have a little thing right after when you talk. The words, the wordy. Anyway,
Sure,
yeah.
and they call me crazy.
Exactly. So what's your name?
Applet.
Applet. How nice. Applet.
Well, she's got an apple in her eye. I like that one.
Oh, do you have a cousin named Cotlet?
No.
Applets and Cotlets?
No.
No.
Nice guess.
No. Well, you do have lovely eyes there.
Thank you.
Yes. What do they stem from? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to read an article about brain, and your guts.
Oh,
Yes.
rough.
Okay. Many recent studies have revealed that our trillions of intestinal flora influence our brain.
Wait, flora? Intestinal flora?
Yeah, we have trillions and trillions of E. coli and dozens of other single-cell bacteria that live in our lower intestines, and they affect us. We interact with them.
Flowers.
Oh, well, they're
What
referred
kind
to
of pansy
as-
has flowers in his gut?
Yeah, well, I have billions of them. Yes. So, questions regarding how their influence on our behavior have lingered because direct causal relationships have been difficult to nail down.
Nobody's nailing me down to anything.
Like
I'm out of here.
They know that, yeah, thank you. They know that our gut bacteria interact with our brain, but they have had difficulty nailing down what that effect is like, what that does, how that interaction works. For instance, they know that our gut bacteria can communicate through signals by way of our vagal nerve. This is a major nerve that goes from our intestines directly into our brains. And they're still getting a sense of how that works. Yep. Yeah. Your guts talk to you. But it seems that the symbiotic relationship goes both ways. The research here focused on how early stress affects gut bacteria, which later affects the host's emotional state into adulthood. Scientists from the FarmCone,
Something like that.
yeah, thank you. FarmCone Family Digestive Health Research Institute in McAllister,
Oh, that's my neck of the woods.
hey, University have discovered that intestinal bacteria plays some role in inducing anxiety and depression throughout the person's life, and was published in the Nature Communications.
I thought that was just being Scottish.
Yeah, the data showed that stress-induced changes in the gut microbia profiles of the its metabolic activity can affect the host's behavior later into adulthood. We have shown for the first time in an established mouse model of anxiety and depression that bacteria play a crucial role in inducing this abnormal behavior, said Premzil?
So wait, you're saying that
Barrick?
the crazy people are crazy because of what they eat?
Well, a person is crazy. What this article shows is a person is crazy if if the person and the bacteria are introduced to crazy at the same time. Then that crazy continues on in life. Where if only the gut bacteria get the crazy, then they're okay. Or if the person but not the gut bacteria get the crazy, then they're okay. And both got to get the crazy at the same time. It's not only bacteria, it's the altered bidirectional communication between the stressed host, mice subjected to early life stress, and its microbiota that leads to anxiety and depression.
Try saying that 4 times fast when you're drunk.
Yeah, good luck with that. Barrick and his team confirmed that normal mice, maternally separated, displayed anxiety and depression-like behavior with high levels of the stress hormone corticosterone, resulting in gut dysfunction due to high levels of the neurotransmitter acetylcholine. Then they repeated the same
Are you buying
experiment.
this crap this guy's selling?
I paid $1.57 for this crap I'm selling right now in a sterile environment, and found that the mice, though internally affected the same way, responded similarly to the control mice without signs of anxiety or depression. To confirm their hypothesis, the researchers transferred the bacteria from stressed mice to non-stressed germ-free mice, and no abnormalities were observed. This
Sounds like it's a bad deal for the mice.
it is. They get all stressed over it. and
Come here, you
anxious.
little beauty. I'm going to poke you with them.
Oh, yeah.
Leave me alone.
Yeah, you'll be poke stressed after that. This suggests that both host and microbial factors are required for the development of anxiety and depression-like behavior. The team eliminated the variables and showed that both host and intestinal biome must be stressed very early in life to be affected, to have an effect with anxiety and depression lasting into adulthood. Barrick said, it would be important to determine whether this also applies to humans. For instance, whether we can detect abnormal microbiota profiles or different microbiota metabolic activity in patients with primary psychiatric disorders like anxiety and depression.
So do you think it applies to
Said Barrick.
sock puppets too?
Yes, it could happen to sock puppets. It would be a terrible, terrible, terrible thing. But the idea is I had a terrible, terrible childhood very, very early on in my life. And so I have had trouble with anxiety and depression ever since. I will become anxious and depressed very easily. And so what that means is that my intestinal flora, all those intestinal flora, they were upset as well. And so they communicate their unhappiness to my brain, or my brain communicates its unhappiness to my guts, and it's a two-way communication. But so what they did is they took mice that didn't have any intestinal flora, and they gave the unhappy ones to them, but the mice grew up normal. They took mice
That's what they say.
also in this bacteria-free or this clean zone. They didn't have any gut bacteria, and they stressed them like crazy, and then they gave them normal gut bacteria, and the mice were normal again. So they tried it like 4 different ways to see what would happen. It was only when the mice that were stressed and they had their own bacteria that they continued
That's
having
fascinating.
anxiety and depression.
So fascinating. Do you think it's true?
Yes.
Why?
Well, it makes sense with my own experience. They've done studies trying to understand what kind of communication happens with gut bacteria and our brain. And like I said before, our gut bacteria communicate all kinds of things to our brain about stuff.
How come they never tell me to quit drinking?
I
When
know.
it's time to quit drinking, they don't say nothing. They say more.
I know, my gut bacteria should have been telling me stuff for years. Bourbon, not rum, bourbon, not rum. So when we get cravings, this might be our gut bacteria telling us stuff. When we're getting an upset stomach, when someone is upset, oftentimes they start having tummy trouble, and this might be the gut bacteria having
tummy trouble too.
Yeah. I don't quite know how to respond to that. But they're finding out more and more. For instance, there may be other factors involved. But it sounds like from the article that I read that was 4 times bigger than what I read here, all the different stuff that they were trying to understand and figure out when they were doing this particular study. And I've read about other research going on trying to understand what our gut bacteria, how they respond to our brain, and there appears to be a significant amount of communication. And so what I try and do at night is I meditate and I think happy thoughts to my trillions and trillions of gut bacteria.
Maybe they'd like a little cheese.
They like the cheese, my skin does not.
Trillions and trillions of gut bacteria. Are you like their leader?
Yes.
Hi, Hail Dad, the leader of the gut bacteria.
Yes, they are my minions, and they live in me, and I am their home, and so I try and send them happy thoughts and well-wishings and such. And I think I'm a happier person as a result. Since I've been doing this, I have generally been happier, and I have felt healthier. So I think that's a good thing. So I think we're about out of time. Do you have any questions, Applet?
So now that we know this, what should we do?
If you have had a terrible, terrible childhood and you suffer from depression and anxiety, if you try and do as I have done, focus your best energy, your good thoughts to all those little creatures down there, it couldn't hurt and it might be helpful. You may find yourself more tranquil as a result of the meditation, and they may actually get the message. One never knows.
Thank you.
Yes. Any questions?
Yeah.
I just keep wanting to call you McTavish.
McTavish. Oh, there you go. So, what do your gut bacteria think of that tie? That's a pretty snazzy tie, don't you think?
They were very upset, and I will be experiencing their unhappiness in
wrath
about
of the gut
18
bacteria.
minutes. Yes.
Watch out
Okay,
for the wrath of gut bacteria.
I think we need to go now.
Bye.
Okay, we'll see you later. Watch the show next time. Yeah.
In all my life, I so often missed the tenderness in your near kiss. With bated breath, I take my place. The lights come up on your embrace, and we fall in love again. There is no more you.
There is no more you.
There is no more me.
There is no more me.
We move and speak synchronistically.
There's music all around and magic abounds.
And we fall in love again. Get up, get on.
Come on, get over it.
Get up, get down.
I'm sick of feeling this.
Can't handle any
more of your lies. I'm up, I'm down. Too many signs, too many times with all my pride. Too many times I found you stuck in lies. With all my pain, I wipe away your tears. You try so hard to
soothe away all of my tears.
Get up, get on. Come on, get over it.
Get up, get down.
I'm sick of feeling this.
Can't handle any
lies.
lies.
Too many sighs, too many times. With all my pride, too many times I found you stuck in lies. With all my pain,
I wipe away your tears.
You try so hard,
Soothe away all of my fears. Get up, get on.
come on, get over
Come
it.
on. Get up, get down.
I'm sick of feeling it. Get up, get down.
Get up, get down.
Get up, get down.
Get up, get down.